Good morning everyone. How are you all doing? Today is a Friday. It's 6th of November. Alright, let's start our lesson with Shaping Maths Course Book 1B, page number 2020. Today's topic is comparing and ordering numbers. We are going to compare and then we order the numbers according to greater to smaller or smaller to the greater. So that is ordering. Comparing is which is greater, which is smaller, which is big, which is small. Alright. So this is comparing and ordering numbers. We will be learning. It says there are four of them. The four friends are here on page number 20, as you can see. There is Annie, David, Bala and Kelly. So Annie says, how do you compare numbers? They want you to compare 28 and 40, and her doubt is, how do we compare numbers? Which is greater, 28 or 40? So there are two numbers, that is 28 and 40. There are two numbers. So you need to compare the numbers. How will you compare? You are having few ways to compare. There are few ways which I'm going to teach you. The first way to compare is using blocks and cubes. The other way of comparing is using tens and ones table. Alright, so there are two different ways. Now, how do you compare looking at the blocks is you have two sticks of tens. So it is two tens and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks of ones. So 2 tens and 8 ones. Correct. It's 28. Then comes here. Look at the bottom. If you see at the bottom of your book where there is David. David says, page number 20, David says, first compare the tens. 4 tens is greater than 2 tens and 40 is greater than 28. So David says, Annie, I think you should compare the tens place first. The tens place, the number which is written in the tens place. For example, you can see here 4 sticks. Each stick, this is a stick of tens. So how many tens are there? 4 tens. Do you have any ones, any units like this? No. So when you do not have the unit, what do you write? You write 0. Nothing. 0 means nothing. So in ones place, you need to write 0 because there are no ones. But here, you had 8 ones. So now, when you look at two numbers, that is 28 and 40, how do you find out? Compare which is big or small. David says we should first compare tens place. We have to compare the number in the tens place. So definitely 4 is the bigger number. So number which is starting with the bigger number in tens place would be greater. So 40 and 28. So 40 is greater than 28. How? Because we compare the tens place. We did not look at ones. We are looking at tens. But if we look at ones, here is 8 and here is 0. So can we say 40 is a smaller number? No. We should always look at tens place first. Alright? Now you look at the second sum at the bottom. They say let's compare 36 and 31. Bala says, okay, I got a question. I want to compare 36 and 31. Alright? So in tens and ones table, when you have 36, 3 tens and 6 ones, you have this table, and then you have a table of again tens and ones, which is 31. Tens and ones. Look here carefully. They are comparing 36 and 31. 36, 31. In this, there is a number which is common. 36 or 31. So now there is one number common, that is number 3 is the same in tens place. If you look carefully, in tens place, we cannot compare using tens place because the number is the same. So how do we find out which is a smaller number or a greater number? We look at the ones place. Here is 6 and here is 1. So if this number is greater and this number is smaller in ones place, then we can determine, then we can find out which is a greater or a smaller number. 36 is greater than 31. Both are starting with 3, 30. Both are starting with 30. But here there are 6 units and here is only 1 unit. So 31 is smaller than 36. So 31 is smaller than 36 and 36 is greater than 31. It's the same. It's just the smaller or greater. Alright. Now go to page number 21. They say let's compare 62 and 43. Now there is a comparison between another two numbers, which is look at page number 21. Now they are comparing between 62 and 43. So in tens and ones table, look here carefully please. I'm drawing the table of tens and ones. It is not difficult to draw. Tens is always written on the left hand side, whereas ones is written on your right hand side. So 62, they say first compare the tens. Now if you look at the book carefully, you will see the sticks. Here there are 6 sticks of tens, here there are only 4 sticks of tens. But here are only 2 units of ones and here are 3 units of ones. This is more and this is less. But when you look at the tens place, first always look at the tens place. Here it is 62 and here it is 43. In tens place, you have 6 and 4. We are comparing between 6 and 4. So 62 is greater than 43. 43 is smaller than 62. Can you see that? Do we understand? First, we always compare with tens. But if the number is same in tens place, then we will look at comparing for ones place. Now, let's compare the other two numbers. What are the other two numbers they are asking us to compare? Let's look at this one. Bala and Callie wants to compare 75 and 79. 75 and 79. So tens and ones table. Okay, now in tens place, in 75, 75, 70, 7 tens, 5 units. 79, 7 tens, 9 units. When I am looking at and it's the same. The value is the same. So now what will I do? I'm very smart, and so are you. So you will hop on to ones place. You will see. Now you compare between 5 and 9. 9 is a greater number than 5. So 75 is smaller than 79, whereas 79 is greater than 75. Alright? Next, let's go to page number 22. Hope you have understood this. You have to practice this. This is very simple. In comparing, when you are comparing numbers, you have to first look at tens place. If the tens place is the same, then you look at the ones place. Okay? Now, let's look at page number 22. Make sure when you are doing your work, you have to write today's date, 6 November on page number 20. Hope I don't have to repeat and every time remind you all. The minute we start the lesson from the page number, like for example, if we are doing the page number 20 first, so you have to write the date, that is 6 November 2020 on page number 20. Alright? Now, let's go to page number 22. Used to show 36 and 39 and then compare the numbers. What you are supposed to do, they have given you a table which is empty. They want you to compare 36 and 39. Compare 36 and 39. Now they are tricking you, be very careful. They gave you a tens and ones table which is empty. They want you to fill up the tens and ones table. I'm going to write 36 first. Write with me. 33 in tens place. 36 and 39. Once you are done with it, you write down which is greater. Which is the greater number? Answer me, which is the greater number? Remember, we have to compare the tens first. You can see in tens place, the number is the same. Both the numbers are the same. 30, 30. Alright? When you come to next is ones number, you will see 6 and 9. Now you compare which is the smaller and which is the greater number. Here I feel 9 is a greater number. So the number 39 is greater. Write down 39 is greater. And which is smaller? Of course 36 would be smaller because we are comparing between two numbers, 36 and 39. Now letter B, this was the first one we have done. Letter B, they say use cubes to show 72 and 42 and then compare the numbers. This you will do in your exercise book. So skip this. You will do this in your exercise book. I will let you know when to do it. Okay. Now come to letter C. If they say how do you compare numbers? How do you compare numbers? First we compare tens as I told you. How do we compare numbers? They are asking us a question and then they told us fill in the blank. Fill in the sentence, complete the sentence. That is, first we compare. What do we compare? Compare the dash. We compare the correct tens. Write down in the box word tens. We compare the number which is in tens place. Write down tens in the box. Then what comes next? Fill in the, complete the sentence when the tens are the same. When the tens, I'm asking you this question, when the tens are the same number. Just imagine these two numbers, 36 and 39. If the number in tens place is the same, what do? We compare which number? Hundreds? No, we are not doing hundreds. The number which is in ones place. We compare the ones. Very good. We compare the ones. O-N-E-S. Finish this please. Write down the word. Now, I want you to read with me. Repeat with me. How do you compare numbers? You need to read with me please. First, we compare the tens. We compare the number given in tens place. When, the second sentence, read with me. When the tens are the same. Look here. When the tens are the same, we compare the ones. When we see these two numbers are the same, there is no comparison. When two things are the same, you do not compare. You compare when there is more or less, big or small, tall or short. So here we are dealing with tens and ones numbers. So ones, when the tens are the same, we jump to the ones. Let's find out the numbers in the ones place. So we compare the ones to find out which is the greater or a smaller number. Okay, now come to page number 23. Hope you are all able to follow. If you cannot, this is a pre-recorded video. You can always go back to the YouTube and check, okay, and you can review the video again and the topic, you can go through it. Now compare 37, 32 and 35. Wow, now we are progressing. Earlier we compared between two numbers. Now we will be comparing between three numbers. You're going to compare 37, 32 and 35. So 37, 32, 35. What you going to do? I'm going to read out and then later I'm going to explain to you. David says the tens are the same. Let's compare the ones. Then Callie says 7 ones is greater than 5 ones. 5 ones is greater than 2 ones. Okay, so the greatest number here is 37 and the smallest is 32. Then the numbers arranged from the smaller to the greatest are 32, 35, 37. I want you to pause here and look here please. The conversation between David and Callie is they need to find out which is greater and which is smaller. So I'm going to write these three numbers in the tens and ones table. Alright, so 37, 3 tens, 7 ones, 37, 3 tens, 2 ones, 32, 3 tens and 5 ones is 35. Now I'm going to compare, okay, if you look here carefully, the number in tens place, all the three numbers in tens place is the same. So we will have to jump to one's place to compare. Because here I see different numbers, 7, 2 and 5. So now let's compare. So 37, 32 and 35, 7, 2 and 5. Here 2 is the smallest. 2 is the smallest number. Why didn't say smaller? We use the smaller when we are comparing two numbers. Here we are comparing three numbers. So we will use the word est. Okay, the sound at the ending of the word would be est. Smallest. Okay, smallest, smaller, small. Okay, now in between 7 and 5, 7 is the greatest. You compare, 7 is greater than 2 and 5. So 7 is the greatest. So the number, if I have to arrange from the smallest to the greatest, smallest to the greatest. So the number would be, which is the smallest? 2. But the whole number is 32. So I will write 32. Then, which is smaller? 5 or 7? 5. Next is 35. And then is, the greatest is 37. Now, if I say, I want you to arrange the number from the greatest to the smallest, what will you do? Look at the table. Look at the table. Greatest. Greatest here is 7. The number is 37. So, you will be writing 37. Next comes two numbers. Leave the 7. Focus at 5 and 2. Which is greater? 5. So 35 and the smallest is 32. So this is what you have to write at the bottom here. At the bottom you have to write, arrange the numbers from the greatest to the smallest. 37, 35 and 32. 37, 35 and 32. So that is what you're going to do now. Finish this quickly. Copy, then we will do the rest on Monday. I will be giving you homework for page number. You have done until page number 5. I'm going to give you page number 6 and 7 for homework. I'm going to give you page number 6 and 7 for homework. Page number 7, you need to use this page. You need to cut out. Yes, you heard me correct. You got to separate the page. Do you see this? Take off the page, please. Take it out. You can tear it off. Okay? How will you tear off? There is a dotted line here. There is a dotted line here. You can gently request your parents to help you because this is an empty page here. You can separate it out. You can tear it out. Why are you tearing it? Because you need to cut out these squares and paste on page number 7 here. You first need to solve out. Count and write in the box. Okay, and then you match the number and paste it on top and make out the picture. Find out which picture is it. It's like a puzzle. Solve the puzzle. Okay, I will let you know how to do it. I will share the answer key as well. If you still have any doubts, you know you can always WhatsApp me or leave a voice message on the WhatsApp and I will explain to you. Alright, bye for now.